back to the beginning.
That was The Beginning by internationally acclaimed Nigerian-French singer Asha. Now, after a 5-year hiatus from the music scene, she's gearing up to release a brand new album this autumn called Lucid, and she joins me now in the studio. Asha, thank you so much for being on the show today. I guess my first question is probably what a lot of your fans are wondering, which is, where have you been?
I've been working, but also taking time out to live normal, not do music too much, like go on a tour. Usually the tours, since my first album, always 2 years on the road. And so this time around, just took time out to kind of relax and allow myself to live normal, fall in love, and learn new, skills like carpentry and
Amazing.
and learn how to ride a motorcycle and just, yeah.
So you've been busy.
I've been busy,
Yeah.
but in the background, yeah.
So the song we just heard there, that single off your new album, it's called The Beginning, but this is not the beginning for you. This is actually, it's going to be your 5th album.
Yeah.
So what inspired you for this album, and how is it different from your previous work?
Actually, this is my fourth studio album. So yeah, The Beginning, perhaps it's a reset for me, because I've been away for almost 5 years, and of course in this time I'd grown, I'd matured more, and I've experienced something else. Like I said, falling in love and falling out of love. That was completely new to me. Because I always walked, and from very early age I had to be very focused on work. So this time I took time to relax, and that experience what I brought in Lucid, and actually Lucid, I am saying like, okay, I get the idea about love. It might be for me, it might not be for me, but with what I've seen, from my experience, it's like, I can take power back to myself. I don't have to be subservient. I don't have to do what is expected, the world expects a woman should be. In fact, the whole message, I am not going to be my mother.
Okay.
I'm just going to be...
You're going to be you.
Me. And I love to be by myself, and it's okay, really.
Well, that's a wonderful thing to learn. It's a wonderful thing to express in your album. We're actually going to listen to another track off your upcoming album. It's called Good Thing. Take a listen.
And I am so fine with it. So I'll be good in no time. You never knew a good thing. Could have had a good thing until you lose a good thing. You never know a good thing.
Now, you released your first album, the award-winning Asha,
Yep.
in 2007. You were just 25, I guess, when you about 24, 25 when you released that. And now, since then, you've had a very successful career. You've sold a whole bunch of albums across the world. You're a self-described late bloomer. So what is it to bloom late? What does that mean?
I think it's beautiful because then, you control things, and you know what you want, and you can, like I said, control things. I wish I was an earlier one, but nothing is too late as long as I didn't start too late. But yeah, never too late, and I'm happy.
Yeah, everyone has their own rhythm, right?
Everyone has their own rhythm. Yeah, I found my rhythm late, but not too late anyways.
And you're comfortable in your rhythm. That's the most important.
Oh yeah.
Now, you've also been called the most emotionally powerful and original African artist of a generation. Your songs touch on a whole wide range of topics. What is your songwriting process like?
Well, that's good. Honestly, it starts with a conversation. If it's not from, like when I was writing Lucid started with just the first word. Let's go back to the beginning. And that was how the album just followed through, because it was an argument in real time. But I actually take inspiration from conversations with strangers, or looking at people in the subway or on the bus and just writing. I really love that. And I also, this album actually really learned to learn from watching movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I there's a few words that I, added from just by watching movies.
What movies inspired you?
Honestly, it was more documentary.
Okay.
But I love documentaries, and I was watching one by Piers Morgan. It's about women who kill.
Okay.
And I thought that was, I wanted to see why would they kill. Of course, usually the subject is always about love and,
Passion.
crime of passion. And I just wanted to, I'm very interested in what goes on in our minds. I think half the time we're crazy, it's cool. So, and I was really, I wrote a story based on, a song based on, an episode in his documentary, and I think that was what gave birth to Murder in the USA.
Amazing. Yeah. Now, you were actually born here in France,
Yep.
And then you moved to Lagos, Nigeria when you were 2 years old.
Yep.
But it's here where your music career really kicked off, and where you still do a lot of business today. Do you continue to have a close relationship with France, with Paris?
Oh, definitely. I think Lagos and Paris is so intertwined. It's for now it's hard to separate. Just being part and from these two cities has really shaped my music. Lagos, I always say, Lagos is where the town that gives me stories to write. So there's so much life in Lagos. Paris is where I come and, okay, let's clean up this, let's make it more accessible. Let's get people to listen to the song with music that's understandable. So whether I sing in Yoruba, I just want the music around it to be open and accessible.
And that
so that's
happens
the beauty
here.
of the two,
So you need to
two
have a
cities.
bridge.
Yeah.
Well, it makes a beautiful end result. And we're actually going to move on to some other music news that's making headlines. Her pop career has spanned an incredible 4 decades so far. Australian superstar Kylie Minogue has released a greatest hits compilation called Step Back in Time, a 42-track collection that goes from hit to hit. The double album promises pop precision since 1987 and features gems such as You Can Hear It Here, Can't Get You Out of My Head, Love at First Sight, and New York City. Take a listen. From one Australian to another, art pop singer, songwriter, guitarist Olympia is releasing her sophomore album called Flamenco. The record features 11 complex and catchy pop tracks. It's a striking follow-up to her acclaimed debut, Self-Talk. Now, according to Olivia Bartley, the woman and creative force behind the project, the record explores how grief and desire are intertwined. Here's a song off the record. It's called Shoot to Forget. Take a listen. And finally, it's summer festival season. And Asha, tell me, what are your summer plans?
Well, summer plans, I plan to go to Nantes, to the vineyards. There's a friend told me there's a wine, there are wines, grapes grown there. So I'd like to go wine tasting in summer, and as well as I think finally get my license for the motorcycle.
For the motorcycle. And you've got some gigs lined up here in Paris, right?
Some gigs lined up, yes, and also one in December.
Oh, yeah.
16th of December at the Trianon. And it's going to be doing a festival in Vienna and a couple other festivals.
Well, if you're in Paris this summer, I definitely recommend checking out a jazz festival. This is at the Parc Floral, so it's a botanical garden that is just outside of Paris. It's one of my favorite festivals in the capital. And what you basically do is take a picnic, you can lie down in the grass and listen to some incredible music. The lineup this year is really cool. There's Jawi Omisil, as well as the French drummer and Paseo. So definitely recommend checking that out. And unfortunately, that's all we have time for. Before we go, though, I want to thank you, Asha. Thank you so much for being on the show today, and we look forward to the release of your album. So that's Lucid, that's coming out in the autumn. We're going to leave you with a clip. This is from Bright Shadows, which is by the French drummer Anne Paseo. This is a song called Nahanda. For more arts and cultures news, you can, of course, head to our website and stay tuned to France 24. More news is coming up right after this.
Now I'm going to start testing for hepatitis C. Don't be scared, it's just a little sting. There's nothing to it.
6 months ago, Egypt launched a major campaign against hepatitis C. Its aim? To identify and treat victims in one of the world's hardest hit populations. The government says hepatitis C is a healthcare emergency and is providing treatment free of charge. But should the government be devoting more resources to prevention? Lack of funds and poor sanitation in hospitals are impeding efforts to eradicate the disease.
Reporters on France 24 and France24.com.